So my friends say I'm a Hitler or Weeb Hitler. So I figure I might as well write a book called Mein Waifu. Uh, wait, wrong.
As long as Laura Bodwig on from Infinite Strauss is on the cover, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. Just a second. Someone asked something on Twitter. Yeah, that actually make a lot of sense. She's like the one German anime girl except for Tanya.
I was gonna say I literally can't think of like an other German character. And isn't Tanya like? Isn't that like more like fictional German?
Yeah, and she's like World War I Germany and not Third Reich Germany.
I'm actually trying to think in the back of my mind. Has there ever been like any other like? There probably has been. I don't watch enough anime and have the answers to everything. But
Yeah, there's a lot of German and anime I've noticed,
well, they're always good enemies.
and also those Hugo Boss uniforms.
What? They're classy uniforms, man.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Nazis, but even I want to have a SS uniform with a armband.
Okay, maybe not so much on that, but
True.
it's like, I like not being giving people any other inclination to kind of arrest me for any sort of thing.
But don't you want the Gesta Fujoshi? They ruin everything.
Look, you do your own crazy bullshit. I'll stick to my weed bullshit, okay?
The Fujoshi are a problem. They must be dealt with. Although there was one time I was being shipped with a Fujoshi.
Well, if you're gonna
Yeah.
put yourself out there, somebody's gonna throw some fan fiction.
Yep. Well, there's this Fujoshi and a Twitter that I was getting along with, and pretty soon people were shipping me with her.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, but it was really weird.
Just how it goes, man. You just got to embrace it.
It was really, really weird.
You watch anime. Don't tell me that something is weird.
Well, I did. Oh, guess I got a taker that wants to join us. So let all right. Oh, he's at work, so he wants to listen. So I'm gonna send him the link.
Oh. Wait, we're gonna have a live audience? Holy shit.
That's too much pressure, man. Gotta do a tweak once in a while.
No, it's not that it's pressure. It means I have to try now. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least we're building an audience of people that want to listen to us and our idiocy.
Well, that's debatable. That's still very debatable.
My goal is to be as unprofessional as Schmeckle, and I'll do the snatch cast in numbers. We gotta get over 35 people watching us, and we'll have made it.
There you go.
That's my starting goal. I'm already unprofessional.
Always good to have a starting point.
Yeah. Of course, on this Saturday, I'm going to be doing something with Brockus from the Snatchcast or the Cunt stream because we streamed before. He's just kind of fun to talk to. That's a thought I had earlier today, though, about how you see all these people that want to basically stream a Sargon and them.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know them well enough to really want to stream with them. Like, I have no problem streaming with Brockus because I streamed with him before. And we could get along in real life level.
Yeah.
And with the way Sargon's been lately, I don't really want to stream with him because he's kind of lost the plot.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to stream with anybody if there was going to be any
Drama.
instance of like over the top drama.
Yeah, which is what's going on with Sargon. Because everything that's happened to Sargon is because like 6 months ago, Richard Spencer said, Sargon, you're going to find this insulting, but you're not as smart as you think you are.
Well, that's the thing. You don't stroke someone's ego for 5 seconds. They're going to take it a little bit personally, you know?
I know. It was just, that's when Sargon started going downhill. He's just like, he started doing that liberalist bullshit and. Oops. Yeah, just need to pop up the chat just in case someone's. I'm still not getting doing this right, so. But,
Baby steps, man.
yeah, it's a miracle I know how to launch the streams in the first place.
There you go.
But that's still,
Progress.
yeah. Sargon, I used to respect him, but lately a lot of his nonsense nonsense has just gotten a little bit out of hand. Because last week he was doing this, he's going to be meeting with people at the EU Parliament, and he's going to be wearing a suit. I bet Jim doesn't even own a suit. I'm like, it's just like,
I would have just answered and been like, I bet you I still don't give a shit.
well, we all know about Jim. Jim doesn't give a shit really, but he was going to laugh at Sargon for thinking he actually cared.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Mr. America is basically he's no one's friend. He's going to laugh at people equally. The moment you start doing something stupid, he's going to laugh at you. And that stuff really kind of hurts Sargon's reputation for me because it's just stupid shit going on.
Well, there's no shortage of that.
I know.
Like it's like I've said before, I don't understand how people have the capacity to care that much anymore.
Yeah. I've noticed that certain people they'll take a cheap shot at someone like the Ralph Tour because him and Sargon got beef going on, like a rap beef basically. So they're picking a side, trying to get on Sargon's good side. Like, just stay out of this. It's a bunch of petty bullshit. Don't be taking
It's
fun.
also just like, why do you even bother? Like, why do you even have to put that much effort into it?
Yeah.
I just don't see how people have the time.
I know. I just want to watch the streams. I don't really want to get bogged down in all this petty schoolyard drama.
Well, it also just comes down to the fact that it's like there's so many other like play video games like a normal person. Fuck. I'm too busy playing Destiny 2 to give two shits about what's going on between two internet nobodies, basically.
Yeah. I can't wait till I get the expansion. I probably missed out on all the changes that happened in the Reef while I've been waiting to get it.
Well, Iron Banner just started today, so.
Yeah, I probably can't compete because on a good level because I'll probably be getting ganked every few minutes.
Well, the other thing too is they actually added power level being important this time around. So
You mean it wasn't last time?
no, it
What
wasn't.
the fuck? What the actual fuck? That's the whole point of Iron Banner. You go in, your power levels matter, and you can.
Actually, well, I don't know. Well, if you're talking the original Destiny, I think it was like that. But I think original Iron Banner and Destiny 2, they didn't really.
What? God damn it! These people don't know what they're doing. Of course, as I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of Destiny's PvP because, like, I enjoy Battlefield's PvP because it's basically that kind of it punishes you, but you kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Destiny, it's like, well, it's also like Battlefield's got like a whole actual battlefield. It's not like a small arena. So if you're getting ganked in one spot, you can just go to a different area and try to look there.
See, I'm the guy that recently with Bungie trying to change it so that it would be back to 6v6 instead of 4v4. I actually the opposite. I like it back when it's 4 because it's not nearly as chaotic. The maps are too small.
Yeah, that's the kind of the thing. They don't have a solid idea what they want to do. They keep just bouncing back and forth until something sticks.
So what's been going on?
Not much. I was watching Plant With today. Sorry, I'll give it another shot. Because I watched like the first episode and kind of went on my way. Yeah, it actually gets pretty good. I think Raging Golden Eagle kind of shifted my opinion on that because he does like once a season he does like his top picks.
Yeah.
It's always good. I don't really do anime YouTubers. Raging Golden Eagle's more like a anti SJW YouTuber.
I find that I don't really go to YouTube for anything anime related. I have maybe one person that I will watch that has to do with anime, and that's about it.
Is it Lost Pause?
No, it's also because I actually have met the guy in person now. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's called Glass Reflections on YouTube.
uh, I've heard the name in passing, but doesn't ring any bells.
How many subscribers does he have these days? Just over 500. Well, 525 basically. 525K, I should say.
Yeah.
So he's been doing pretty good for himself. Very, very cool dude. I thought it's funny too because I've done panels with him at our local convention here.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I met him, I thought he absolutely fucking hated me. I thought he was like a pompous like prick. Because I didn't really understand that when he comes to these panels, he's still in full character. Because I hadn't had somebody sitting next to me who was an actual like celebrity in what YouTube is. Most of the time, whenever I did panels, it was just with a bunch of other nobodies like myself at the time.
Yeah.
Second time around, the person that was also with me on the panel managed to convince him to come back a second year. I'm thinking, oh, that's a bad idea. I'm sure he hated my fucking guts last time. And he came earlier than the panel, so we were all kind of just chilling for a few minutes, waiting, for everything to start up. And I just kind of talked to him. It's like, hey, just give me my honest opinion. Like, do you remember last year's stuff? He's like, oh yeah, it was a fun panel. It's like, oh, you actually enjoyed it? He's like, yeah, I had a great time. I'm like, really? Because I felt like you didn't like me at all. He's like, really? Where did you get that indication? I'm like, okay, I'm just a moron. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, a lot of people had their online persona.
I think it's also because at that point I was still relatively new to that kind of stuff. Whereas this year, third year in a row we did it, and we also had another set of YouTubers called the Anime Uproar guys. And of course, I did my shtick where I talk about all the trash anime I liked. And we were taking questions, and one guy's like, okay, why have you not talked about the most important anime this season? And I'm waiting for the joke answer because I know it's coming. And he goes, greatest anime this year, Isekai with Smartphone. And I jumped up and high-fived the motherfucker.
You told me this before, like.
Yeah. And the two guys told me, get out. And I just kind of like haphazardly like did the walk of shame out of the panel room for a minute. See, it's the opposite now. 2 years ago, I would have been like really held back to say anything silly like that. Now I just don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, that series was actually kind of good.
Well, yeah, but this specific channel, who basically what they do is My Hero Academia and those kind of shows, like they're not leaning in that direction for whatever reasons that they may have.
Yeah, they're not like us though.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's because they're so downtrodden because they're doing daily content too, so they're trying their asses off. They don't have time to worry about the outside stuff, so they're so dead focused that anything else is just it's too much because they don't have time to sit back and watch that stuff, I guess.
Yeah, the sad thing about some of these people is that they cover something that literally hundreds of other channels are doing. That's part of mainstream anime. I always try to look for those hidden gem animes because they're the ones that are going to be more self-contained stories that you can enjoy.
Well, the upside with those guys is they weren't like they were joking with me when they made the comment of Get Out, and then afterwards I did see them again later, and I talked to them again. He's like, and they're just like, man, I can't believe that you like Isekai with Smartphone, but they're saying it in a joking manner. It's not what you see from like the anime police, the anime Nazis that we have out there that are like, oh my god, you like harems? You're not a real anime fan. That kind of shit. No, they don't do that shit.
I love harems.
Well, it just goes down to the same thing too, where it's like, why do you even care that somebody likes something that you don't like? Like, why is that such a big deal?
And mentioning harems, I have to once again reiterate, High School of the Dead is not a harem.
It's just sexy as fuck.
And Ray is a thought. I have to.
Oh my god! Well, hey, everybody, hit their bingo card. Actually, that's something we should probably make the be on Tsunderedome bingo card. We got to make sure evil puppet girls are on there.
Why'd you have to mention those things?
Because I have to.
Those things creep me out.
Telling you. I thought I was going to hate that show initially too, just because the animation style was so off the wall for me. Not even in terms of like the insanity of what you claim are the evil puppet girls. I just thought the quality looked like shit when I first saw it. But I give everything a fair shake, and that show was fucking funny as hell. So I'm like, okay, fine, I see what it is. It's the animation style isn't necessarily shit so much as it's just as overly quirky as the show is.
I just know that when I see those puppet faces, they kind of creep me out a little bit, just like Gudako from FGO.
Well, that's just because you're a bitch.
Well, I don't mean like the normal Gudako. I mean that mascot looking one that's got the creepy stare.
Eh. I've seen too much anime to really be faced by any of that shit anymore.
I'm still kind of weirded out by the idea that there's a harem anime that's an isekai where the guy literally fucked his house.
Oh, there goes the bingo card again.
He literally fucked his house.
It's not even the name of the show. It's just the quote. He fucked his house.
It's just like, oh, I was expecting almost anything, but I've never expected to see a guy fuck his house. And the house gets pregnant, and now it's a 2-story house.
Well, ever since I saw that one short of like the girl who turns into a car and drinks gasoline like she's giving something a blowjob, where I'm just like, okay, I've seen everything I need to know.
And so Thomas has seen everything, and now he leaves.
It's just how it is, man.
uh,
Eat, sleep, watch anime that I'll never understand, repeat.
I don't know. I'm glad Japan isn't as messed up as America.
We're all a different kind of messed up. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but I mean, they're the good kind of messed up where they just create whatever the fuck they want.
Well, based on how Japanese society is, they're still a different kind of fucked up.
Yeah. One of the perks of being an ethno state.
But remember, here in North America, we're the real racist. You know, we're the real absolute majority here, and that could never treat people like, you know, decent human beings. Just look at Japan. Japan hates fucking foreigners.
Oh, they do.
I love you, Japan, but stop treating everybody else like shit. That's supposed to be America's job, apparently.
Yeah, it's just like, ugh.
Everybody's stealing each other's gimmicks, man.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. You got these echo quotes, them, trying to say that Japan needs to be culturally enriched by letting in a bunch of people that don't share their culture. And like, the Japanese don't even like us white people. What makes you think that Tyrone's got a chance?
And I mean, as a consumer of video games, anime, and other things, I don't want a damn thing to change in that country because clearly look at what they're doing.
I know. Japan needs
Don't change a fucking thing.
Japan needs to stay a homogenous culture because it works for them.
In fact, maybe just kick everybody that isn't Japanese out of the country. Just get them 100%. Maybe everything we'll have the best games we'll ever see.
Yeah. The reason why we can still go to Japan to get our good entertainment still is probably because they haven't had a bunch of SJWs take over their entertainment.
That's the one interesting thing I've noticed is that we don't ever hear any stories of that kind of crap happening in Japan. Like nothing's getting blowback back there.
I know. Well,
I mean, if there is, it's not traveling far enough that we're hearing about it anyway.
Yeah. Well, there's also the thing that basically in China they have a word for SJW, Baizhua. Basically means white left.
I remember hearing a story. Well, wasn't it when the newest DOA Extreme game, and like one of the developers came out and said, we can't do this kind of stuff for you guys in this game because all you're going to do is bash it. Like it's not verbatim, but I mean, they basically just openly said, we know we can't deliver you guys these games because we know about the political games you play.
Yeah, that's kind of thing. And just like at a certain point, we need to just say, those crazy bitches over there, they don't speak for us. I want to look up Li Fang's skirt. Give me that.
Well, I still want to own a copy of Dead or Alive Extreme 3 just to stick it to people, but that moment's kind of passed, so I don't feel like bothering anymore. Not to mention,
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up again because I know it's still fucking stupid expensive. That was the other part stopping me. If I had the money to do it, I would have imported the son of a bitch, but
Yeah.
I think at the time it was like $90, and I don't think it's changed. In fact, I probably think it's probably somehow even more expensive because that's just how it is.
That's kind of the thing about Japanese stuff. A lot of us would like to import it, but not for that much. Like, I have to shamefully admit that despite loving these Japanese rock idols I love so much, like Fuki, I'm not going to spend that much for her music.
Yeah, it's still 70. Well, and that's before any taxes or fucking delivery fees and all that shit. It's
Yeah.
still $72
I
Canadian for me.
think on iTunes you can get it digitally for pretty cheap, but
It's just like, look, as much as I want to support this stuff, I can't. I'm not like $80 worth of supporting, or by the time delivery fees and all that shit, I'm not $100 ready to support that.
I know. Because here's what I always say about like Aldius, because they're like my favorite band.
I haven't noticed with you.
I would say, for that price, Sawa needs to marry me. Because everyone knows about my crush on Sawa.
No, I've never gotten that inclination from you ever.
Yes, it's very hard to understand why I would have a crush on Sawa.
Next, you're gonna tell me that you also want to gas the Fujoshi.
I thought that was a given.
As I said, just as obvious. Everybody's heard it.
I guess I've been too ambiguous with the fact that I want to guess the Fujoshi.
So at this point, we've gotten the bingo card. Somebody might have already hit bingo by now. We've gotten the he fucked his house. We've gotten an Aldius reference in there. We've talked about Puppet Girls. I've talked about Infinite Stratos. You've talked about the Fujoshi. I think at least somebody, if they got a really good lucky card, they've got the line by now.
And of course, the Rays of Thought, which is basically a free space.
That's true. Somebody may have all four corners by this point. Somebody's almost at a T.
We need to make the Tsunderedome bingo card.
I think we need 10 more episodes to get enough reoccurring bullshit. Because apparently that's our one skill, other than just talking nonsensical bullshit, is repeating the same three things over and over again.
Oh, and Fenris and Radical go on a tangent about something unrelated.
That's just the entire card. You win.
And here we witness Fenris going on a tangent about Sawa's thighs.
Well, I mean, once I start doing my own streams again, especially if I go solo, that's literally going to be my stream. If I could call it just tangent stream, I would. But
that's probably taken.
Oh, it's probably been taken and it's probably been done 1,000 times already. So it's like.
But I think streaming is a kind of a fun way to do things, and rather than just doing videos, you can just stream with your friends and make a show out of it.
Well, the thing with me is that like I'm tangential just because that I try to. Well, actually, I think the more honest thing is that I just don't ever shut up. But I have a really huge tendency of getting my main point out, and then I also have to like a few things to support it, or at least something else to keep the dialogue going. I always try to keep moving forward, and a lot of the times that means I switch from subject to subject, so that way I don't A, lose my train of thought, and B, I don't suddenly have a big pause as I try to figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you see a lot of people do struggle with solo, and I used to do it when I started out, is I wouldn't know where to go next, whereas now I pretty much can just leave myself bullet points. Like when I used to do almost 2-hour-long shows like a couple of years ago, if not more than longer than that, I literally would just have a bullet point of like 6 major topics, and I would that would probably fill up 45 minutes, and the other remaining like hour and change would just be me going off about anything else that I'd like heard that day or whatever.
Yeah. Another thing that should be on the bingo cards, me complaining about harem anime and how the main character always picks a girl because she was nice to me, damn it.
Well, you didn't actually do that last show with me, so
yeah,
that might actually be somewhat of a rarity.
Yeah, but that I guess we can talk about. We're going to talk about harem anime this time. That has to be one of the most annoying tropes in my book for like a harem, that the main girl, her only redeeming quality is that she's nice.
Well, I think it just goes to the obvious idea that you never see a harem anime where the either the main interest or the one who ends up winning is usually the one that the least amount of people seem to be going for.
Mm-hmm. That's what pissed me off about Masamune Kun.
Or very I think that, well, I think actually there's two sides to it. One, it's either that no one's really actually that interested in her in terms of a waifu character, or that's just the character that is designed so that you're just going to draw endless amount of doujinshi for.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's my issue is basically these main girls. They're presented as the perfect girl, but I couldn't hold a decent conversation with her. She's got no personality. She has no interests. I would get bored of her. How is she perfect? Because she's polite.
Is that
You
not
know,
enough?
you know my interest. You know that a tsundere call me trash and give me a disgusted look is my turn on.
Yeah, I think like you must have a secret padded room somewhere where it's literally the entire wall is just filled with like tsundere gazes.
I actually do collect pictures of that uh, on my desktop. Just look and post them once in a while because I just get I just like that look where their faces all darkened because they're glaring at such disgust. Like
So
that.
you pretty much have an endless supply of like Kirino, Asuka, and plenty others.
Well, not
Just
really Kirino and them, but what was that one series that they did last season with the girls lifting up their skirts and looking pissed off?
you'll have to be a lot more specific.
Well, that was like a etchy anime or something like that. It was literally something like I got to look this up because I forget what it's called. It was like a light novel that someone wrote.
See, the problem is if it wasn't on Crunchy, I haven't watched it,
Yeah, I think it's
and
from
it is,
last season.
and it doesn't sound like something that Crunchy would have had because I would have remembered, or at least I think I would have. Granted, my memory is very suspect.
Okay, I found it. I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwears. Literal name of the series.
Okay, yeah, I definitely have not heard of that.
Yeah, it's like an OVA. It's from this season.
Jeez, no holding back there. Apparently,
Yeah, the whole thing is basically some guy wants these girls to show their underwear, look at him disgusted. There's like an episode with a nun.
so is that series about you?
No, because I don't want girls to show me their underwear. I just want them to glare at me.
So you're like the prequel.
Because I gotta find pictures. But it's like that's a really specific title. Have you ever noticed that these light novel things are like really specific titles that sum up the whole story and like just tell you what the name of the series? It all
That's
started with Ori Emo, I think, because basically my little sister can't possibly be this cute.
I think that's why I like anime is just because there's no fucks given. It's just nope,
Yeah.
this is what it is.
Yep.
It's why as much as I don't I've definitely warmed up to the more since because as a musician I do appreciate really well written music. Panic at the
Yeah.
Disco I used to just not be able to stand as when I was younger because again I was just whatever was mainstream I hated. But I love the fact that they just have no fucks given with their title names. They are long as fuck.
I know. In another world, my smartphone, that's pretty tame when compared to the other ones. There's like one, I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Well, I know of one off the top of my head is I can't believe what my husband is saying.
Oh, yeah. What I was going to watch it. I watched like one episode of it. Yeah, I got to the best part was when he said, Machiro 10 is my wife. I'm your wife.
All right, here's an article 12 anime series with long titles that don't really need to be so long. I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I need. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. I can't understand what my husband is saying. That's one of them. Oh, yeah, I didn't actually watch all of this one, but my mental choices are completely interfering with my school romantic comedy.
I think I watched like one episode of that, then got bored.
I think that one I watched a few, and then it was just one of those cases where I got overrun with other things and I just stopped.
Well, it's one of those ones where the main character gets punished all the fucking time, and you're like, I can't root for this guy because he's just gonna get fucked over in the end.
All right. Next one. Problem children are coming from another world, aren't they?
Oh boy.
I did watch this one. Haven't finished that one either. No matter how you look at it, it is your guys' fault I'm not popular.
Oh, I heard about that.
That's
That's
Watamote.
Yeah, the one with the girl that.
That one's
all
actually
the
really good. I'm
animals.
really annoyed that I haven't finished it because it's actually really funny.
People really like that kind of character for some reason.
Because she's basically like a giant female pervert. Like she's literally the opposite of what every other major anime character is.
Yeah.
Let's see. I couldn't become a hero, so I reluctantly decided to get a job.
I watched that one. It was pretty good.
That one was pretty good. Going from really good to fucking Christ, I'm crying my ass off. We still don't know the name of the flower we saw that day, aka Anohana.
Oh! That
Fuck
reminds
me.
me of something I saw on the King's Raid Reddit. Basically, someone took like the characters from King's Raid. Yeah, there's this girl on King's Raid named Jane who's basically dad. Yeah, so was it? Why is Jane whatever the dead girl's name is? And then they go, "Oh fuck you!" Like they finally got it.
Yup. I had it here, just flipping around. Next one was Oraimo, aka My Little Sister Can't Possibly Be This Cute. The better version of a lot of these specific animes. There's My Youth Love Comedy Was Wrong As I Expected.
Oh man, I love that series so much.
Cut in the Battlefield Between My Girlfriend and My Childhood Friend. Yeah, that sounds like a harem anime, all right.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's amazing. Although, basically, people are like making a big deal because he chose a girl, basically the so-called girlfriend, or pretending to be in a relationship, and in the end, he chooses her. But as I understand in the novels, they end up breaking up, and now she's trying to help him get with the childhood friend.
Now we're getting on to my favorite stuff. Give Blessing to This Wonderful World, aka Konosuba.
Oh man, that's such a great series.
The story in which I was kidnapped by a young lady's school to be a sample of the common people.
I tried watching it, but I just couldn't get into it because how sheltered are these girls that they never heard of a smartphone?
You'd be surprised.
I just couldn't suspend my belief that rich girls never heard of a smartphone.
And then at the end of this whole thing, my personal fucking favorite, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes don't exist. Fucking Shimonetta.
I never watched that.
Oh my god. I'm so glad that I caught the tail end of Funimation's like subtitled animes, because that one is so good. I think Crunchyroll got it back on now that they're doing the little partnership. Yeah. I need to go and rewatch that show because god damn.
The most I know about that series is that what's her name? Anna tried to rape the main character.
Oh, one would say she succeeded.
Oh boy.
She certainly dripped all over him.
But men can't be raped. Rape is the only thing that happens to women.
You're right. It's much funnier. God damn that whole, the first time I saw this scene, of course I didn't see the completely uncensored version, so there was a lot of censorship, but that didn't save anything. I was like, holy fuck. I was not prepared for that. I knew it was going to be Anna. I just had no idea that it was going to be that bad. I'm like, okay, she might tackle him and whatever else. No, that was more than tackling.
She was going to rape him because she had no idea that was wrong.
Well, she basically was just a couple inches away, basically.
And then he goes to prison because everyone believes the woman.
Well, at least he had witnesses. At least he had witnesses.
Yep.
One who just kept telling him to keep going because she kept wanting to draw it, but that's a different story.
You want to know the most fucked up harem I ever came across? there's a harem series literally about girls wearing diapers.
Yeah, I'm immediately out.
Yeah,
Another one of
I,
those things that I'm
I,
like, I'm
I,
sorry, but I don't get it. I cannot understand that.
out of more of a curiosity, I read a few chapters, and then you got the tsundere childhood friend that thinks he's got like a diaper fetish because like, so she starts wearing a diaper too. Like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Like I try not to be judgmental, but I'm completely unwilling to understand why that's even a thing.
I don't know. I don't even want to know.
It's like there's certain things that I just don't get. I mean, there's obviously the obvious suspects like that and various bodily functions that I don't understand why people are that interested in, but
There's some things we're better off not knowing.
yeah, unfortunately, since it's the internet, you're going to come across it no matter what you do anyway. So
Yeah, it just sort of like I was watching Stream one time. And they're talking about hentai, and they used to do a show called Not Safe for Wednesdays or something like that. And they're talking about Bible Black, and they said it's a bit one of the best ways to do trap porn. And like that teacher wasn't a trap; she's a fuda. Traps and fudas are different things. I hate when normies try to understand hentai, because then,
but to be fair, I don't think anybody still.
oh,
So,
could you repeat that?
oh, did I kind of conk out there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I noticed my screen kind of froze for a second. I'm like, oh, but no, it's just like I don't think anybody really understands anime these days,
yeah.
or
That's
hentai for that matter.
that's one of those things that gets under my skin is when people think that traps are trans. It's like they don't identify as girls. They're just gay boys that like to dress like a girl. They still
Yeah.
identify as a boy.
That debate still drives me nuts.
We're like, us degenerate weeds are like, no, we don't want him to identify as a girl because it's not gay as long as the balls don't touch.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big trap fan. I like a few, but not like some that are really good.
Well,
Gotta find.
this is the thing. Like, I know that because of how open I am to various genders and such, that I am open. The problem is, I think anime is really the best place to open those things because it's really hard to find really good looking real life traps.
Pretty much.
I think that's the one problem
Unless you
that
go
I
to
have.
Thailand.
It's really like as someone who in the last like 5 years has really opened up sexually, like I've found that I have different tiers of where of which genders like I can actually seem to find really attractive in real life. Like girls, no problem. Guys, really hard. And then beyond that, it's anything else. Like it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with just me not being this open until now, that I just haven't had the years of paying attention, but
Yeah. And then you look at Asian women and then you realize, oh, that's why white women are so intimidated by them. Especially the Japanese ones because they still like to bake cookies.
well, fuck, you think too with me, like I love Asian women and Asian dudes do nothing. Nothing. It's weird. You'd figure if anybody had the best chance, it would be Japan, but no, Japanese guys, nothing.
I think you probably want more masculine men.
No, not really. I think a lot of it's still because I'm still kind of fresh into this side of the spectrum that I'm still paying attention more to more feminine guys.
Mm. Yeah. Been noticing that since I got back into like Japanese rock because I discovered all these all girl bands. I'm like, oh, I remember. I used to have a big thing for Asian women.
Yeah, that's never left. I knew that the second I hit like puberty that I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Well, when I was young, like really young, I was I had a thing for Asians, like probably because their eyes are just so interesting.
Well, early on, like growing up, I lived out in the countryside, so I didn't really get exposed to anybody that wasn't white at that time, especially over here.
Yeah,
So I don't think I really paid attention to the fact that there were different races until like maybe grade 8 when I moved to a bigger town. Because like there was, I remember I think one kid ever in all my classes that was a little more tan, but I didn't pay attention to that. I'm just like, oh, whatever.
yeah. It's just I think part of the appeal, like like Japanese or Asian women in general, is because they, at the end of the day, they still want to be married and have children and all that. Western women have been so tamed by feminism, we're not willing to take the risk anymore.
Well, it depends because the Japanese market in terms of families are getting lower and lower every year. The
Yeah,
pregnancy rate is at an all time low. Hell, like there are less and less Japanese citizens having sex every year.
yeah,
Granted, that has a lot more to do with the fact that they're too busy. They don't have time to go on fucking dates.
yeah,
So that's why it's no wonder they're on the sex doll trains because nobody has the fucking time to they would rather use their job to build something to have sex with than actually go out and try to find somebody.
yeah. And there's also the fact, because I remember watching some documentary about like Japan itself. That's where I learned a lot of stuff, like how bigoted they really are toward like foreigners and shit. And Japanese women, they don't. Some of them don't want to get married because when they get married, they're expected to quit their job and stay home and get pregnant.
Well, that's the thing. It's the complete polar opposite of what everybody believes happens here. It's like no, they want to continue to be independent.
Yeah, because they have their own money and they can go out when they want, all that.
Which who the fuck wouldn't want that, right?
Yeah, but some of them still want to have children and all that. But
I mean, it's large in part why I'm not even really interested in starting a family myself. Or it's just like I don't really have I don't really have the money to afford it properly, and then B, I kind of don't want to suddenly take any of the money that I have left that I'm spending on myself and put it to somebody else.
yeah,
I kind of like being able to buy video games whenever I feel like buying them.
I know. That's what. Speaking of video games, that's one thing that annoys me about like well, the thought women over here that will say something. Because I remember years back when I was going to the community college, because I did try to make something of myself once. I had
Mhm.
some dumb thought telling me that it was weird that someone my age was like in the, because I was also interested in Vampire the Masquerade at the time. That it was weird for someone my age to be interested in vampires and have like video games and shit like that. Like, why?
You're just like I don't give a fuck.
I know, but I was kind of more like, why? Because I had like a PSP and I was like, why? This thing plays music. It gets internet.
It's like I could be doing anything else.
I know. Because we got so many women like that, that's probably the reason why some men just went MGTOW. Are like, I don't know, maybe some bitch is going to be telling me what I can and can't do.
I think it's just large in part too. Just anybody being like, we're at a point now where we're being basically told how to live every single day, and we're just like, who the fuck are you?
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, some of these, like, you hear these stories a lot about, like, a guy who probably didn't have some kind of, like, special, look at me, how special I am diet. They take up with a girl, and she either doesn't eat meat or she doesn't eat red meat. My cousin's one of those dumb bitches that doesn't eat red meat. She only eats chicken. Like, and then they force this special diet onto their boyfriend or their husband and expect him to do the same thing.
Well, because that's the thing. I don't have any problems with people that do this shit. Just don't fucking force it.
Yeah, because that's not their choice. You're taking away their choice on what they're going to eat.
Well, yeah, but it's okay to tell people what to do. You can't have somebody tell you what to do, but it's okay for you to just completely order somebody
Yeah,
around, right? That's just how it is. You got to accept that. And I'm just like, no, I fucking don't.
yeah, just
So it's like I remember I can't remember how long ago this was, but there was a great Wendy's commercial for the Baconator, and it was just a guy being like, "Yeah, I'm a meatitarian." You know, it's a personal choice, and I'm just like, that's fucking amazing. Because it's all you hear. It's like, you got to go on this vegan diet. You got to do this diet. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I know. I saw something on Facebook or Twitter. I don't know what's going to say Facebook. I don't use Facebook anymore. But I saw something on Twitter where some vegans are saying that there needs to be a value add tax on meat. And I was like, oh, you really volunteering to be hunted for sport?
It's like, I'm sorry that you are a little upset that your organic Brussels sprouts cost so goddamn much, and yet I can get a nice fillet of meat for cheaper than that. I'm sorry that you're just a little upset that you got to pay more because of your lifestyle that you chose to do.
Well, here's the thing I don't get about vegans. Why do they try so hard to make their food taste like my food?
To be fair, if they want to do that, that's fine. Just don't expect me to pay the extra $5 on top of it for that version when I could just get the real thing and it's costing me less. That's the major thing with all of this stuff that's food related, like diets. When it comes to that, when it comes to veganism, when it comes to organic, for fuck's sakes, like I would eat organic, but I'm not paying an extra 30% on top of that just to have organic food. Fuck that shit.
Organic's just a big old scam because it's basically the same shit that's in it. They just put different label on it.
Well, in fact, you could make the argument too that there's more nutrients in the non-organic stuff because they're infusing more.
I know. It's just like, well, sometimes the organic stuff tastes like shit.
Depends on what you get.
Yeah, probably.
It's hit and miss.
Here's the thing about healthy eating. Why would you want to when it doesn't taste that good?
Well, that's a different conversation there.
I know, because for me, some of the best food in the world is basically the unhealthy shit. Anything that's fried or copious amounts of peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah. Well,
because peanut butter is probably the greatest thing ever.
It is. Well, no, that's a lie.
Well, it's one of the greatest things ever.
It's definitely up there.
One thing that really always gets under my skin because I used to listen to Ann Corolla. And one time he went out bitch fit because he was at a bowling alley and he wanted some nachos, but they didn't use real cheese. It was that fake cheese. Like, real cheese doesn't melt like the cheese sauce does. That's the reason why they use it. Because shredded cheese just doesn't work as good on nachos as like that.
Same goes up here in Canada for poutine. You put shredded cheese on a poutine, you might as well just get the fuck out of the country because that's a cardinal sin right there. You're not using.
Never had poutine.
Oh my god! Every time I show one of my American friends a picture of poutine, they'd be like, "Why the fuck don't I have this?" And I'm like, "The sad part is you do. You just don't know what the fuck it was. You've probably seen it a million times on a menu at a bar you've been to. You just haven't ever thought to look at it."
Mm-hmm. You're just like, at a certain point, like some of the best food is like burgers and fries and shit like that. That's kind of the thing. Point I made once about like Shokugeki no Soma, where you see a zombie standards of food being like this fancy gourmet shit, and like that's the kind of food you eat at a restaurant where you want to be seen at the restaurant instead of have a meal. Some of the best food I've ever eaten is at like a diner.
What's the thing? I imagine that if I ever had the money to do it and I went to a 5-star restaurant, I imagine I would walk out being like, I can literally get this same thing at the fucking keg, which would cost me only $50.
Yeah. Some of the best food from, like, we have a place near here called Home Plate. It's like a small diner. And they have this thing on the menu called a Home Plate Burger. You can get it's a double patty it's a half pounder. It's got Swiss and American cheese, peppers, onions, jalapenos. It's a perfect burger in my opinion. And I always order without the jalapenos because I do not like canned jalapenos because they're just like, nah.
But it goes without saying, I mean, a lot of the times, the most passionate people in kitchens are going to be the ones that are very grassroots. You're not going to, you will find like the cream of the crop when it comes to skill in 5-star restaurants, but the passion may not be there because it's very cookie cutter. It's very down the line.
Yeah, that is kind of the summary of what's going on. The current arc of Shokugeki is basically that Azami wants everyone to be the same, this same pretentious bullshit,
Yeah.
because it's his standards. And like, and basically comes across like he doesn't have the creativity like of people like Soma. Because Soma's just like, I wonder what this would be like. And he just does it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you try a place, and if it works for you, then you try to see how you can do it a little bit cheaper, just to make it more fun for yourself.
Yep.
Now it's at the point that like there's a place that I will go to that is what you would when you walk in there, you think it's just your average bar, but it has some of the best fucking chicken wings I've ever eaten. It has some of the best fries I've ever had at a bar. Like it's just perfect, and it's still relatively affordable compared to like going to a fucking I don't know a Boston Pizza or an Applebee's or any place like that that's going to charge you an arm and a leg just for a fucking plate of nachos.
Yeah. Like sometimes at Walmart you can get like these huge bags of like the nacho cheese, and they're probably just right for what I like to do. I just put a lid on a bowl or something like that and warm it up and just dip chips in it.
Yeah.
Not healthy, but when you're
Who
snacking,
cares? Who cares?
but that's what annoys me about like those commercials where like those Baby Bell or wherever those pretentious yuppie snacks like complain about how people eat unhealthy things for snacks. We're eating it because it tastes good, motherfucker. Leave us alone.
And the thing too is like I would buy. I mean, I do buy baby bells once in a blue moon, but that's when they're on like sale, like at
Yeah.
least half off. That's the only way I'm going to be able to justify that. But at the end of the day, like I don't really give a shit what I put in my mouth. But at the end of the day, if I can afford to do it, that's what I'll eat.
Yeah.
And I'm not making 100 grand a year. Like apparently all these people are that can afford to pay, every week $500 in groceries. Like that's fucking retarded.
I know. That's another thing about like the vegan diet. It's really expensive. So you need to be really well off to be able to afford it.
It's just anything these days. It's just we're trying so hard to be able to afford things, and yet prices keep going up for the things that we're supposed to be getting.
Yeah. Just like Adam Worski, ex-wielding maniac. He used to be a vegan and then he started losing his hair and so he had to quit being a vegan.
It's a fucking religion, though, man.
Well, we've all heard the story about vegan gains pretty much, about how he was starving that dog and he started throwing a bitch fit because he had to give it meat. Because he thought he could get to go on a vegan diet, and that dog is like a wolfhound, so they're more closely related to wolves.
It's like somebody just has to pull that guy aside. I'm like, are you fucking retarded?
Well, the breeder that sold him the dog was going to sue him to get the dog back because he's slowly killing it.
Oh my god.
So he started feeding the dog meat. And apparently, according to his girlfriend, he was bitching the whole time every time he had to do it.
It's like, well, you have this option, or you could just not own a dog.
Yeah. The vegans, they don't understand because they, being from an omnivorous species, they don't understand that animals are like dogs and cats. They can't just be vegan because their bodies can't process vegetables like we can. And there's some vegetables that our body just doesn't process right, like corn. I'm not going to go into that too much anyway.
Oh boy.
But you can tell by looking at our teeth that basically we're designed to eat meat because our back teeth are always kind of sharp and pointy. That's not something you see in herbivores.
Yeah.
because their teeth are flat so they can grind stuff. Carnivores have teeth are designed to rip and tear.
Uh, I guess the simplest thing I can just say is, why the fuck does anybody care about what the next person is eating?
That's one of those things that hurts vegans, I think, is because they obsess over what we eat when they don't have to eat it.
Well, it comes down to that holier than thou kind of persona, you know.
Yeah.
It, it's not just food. It's people that exercise a lot. They look down at people that play video games a lot. Like I try to find a way to do everything.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's really hard to pull that off. That's why I usually have only like a couple days a week that I play sports because it's the only way to get myself to do anything. I've tried jogging. I hate myself every time I do it. I need something to kind of force it. Like I can't just one day decide I'm going to do 50 push-ups. I have to have like a reason to do it, so that way when I play sports, I get competitive. So it just forces me to go.
Oh god, I'm gonna do a screen share so I can see this. But I'm reading that manga where the guy fucked his house
Oh
because
no,
because his house got bigger when she's pregnant. You gotta see what because apparently the house got even bigger. Okay, let's see. Uh, no, that's not it. I don't. I'm not sure where the screen share is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Do you see it?
what the fuck?
His house is now a condo.
I mean, he's upgrading, I guess.
Yeah, but what the fuck? Uh, uh,
Oh my,
I saw that. Like I was just reading this while we're talking. It's like, hey, why is it so huge?
that's what she said. That's clearly intentional too.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
I
know if
don't.
I don't know if somebody could pull that off as an anime.
I don't know because they actually kind of showed him fucking her.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, everybody finds a way around that shit.
Well, yeah. What was it? Shinmai Mao. That's practically porn.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit better than porn. I mean, what? Ugh. I was like, I just read it. I was like, okay, that's getting a little bit ridiculous now. It's basically a condo now. I was expecting it to be slowly turned into a castle. No, it turned into a condo.
Look, he's working on it, man.
I know.
Just give it time.
Jesus. What the fuck? I was just reading that. I was like, okay, how? That just like, I swear the Japanese, you think you gotta figure out how to do something even weirder.
You know, you don't figure them out. There's no figuring them out.
No, they're pretty much like the gaijin are catching on. Change the code. Shut it down, the gaijin no. Oh boy. I came with that on the fly. I can't believe it. Because usually I take a little bit to cover these things. You know what I would like to see in a harem? A harem where the main character is the tsundere. Like the guy that all these girls are after. He's like a tsundere that doesn't want anything to do with women, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he just starts calling them stupid over and over. Well, I guess Aho Girl counts because that's basically a harem.
Is it?
He's got like 3 girls that kind of like him.
Trying to remember. I'm only thinking two at this point. What's the third?
Sayaka, the blonde one, she's she kind of likes him.
Yeah.
Don't ruin
Yeah.
my delusions.
Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Because if I was him, the student, the disciplinary president, she's a little bit too much of a degenerate. Yoshiko is too stupid. And as he said, humans can't fall in love with monkeys. Which leaves basically Sayaka, who's basically the only one that's normal. That was a good show. I need to finish it at some point because it was just so funny. I hate having to switch to a different manga site because I like Kiss manga, but they started using an ad blocker.
Oh, I hate those.
Turn it off so you'll see all of our intrusive ads that you don't want to see that trying to get you to buy stuff you don't want.
It's like,
That
here's an
causes
idea. Have not shitty ads on your site.
maybe don't have one of those things in your design that makes a bunch of ads pop up every time you click on something.
I used to say with YouTube, I kept going, YouTube, I will stop using ad block on you if you stop showing me the same 2 ads every video I watch.
Well, in the case of Monday Matt, using ad block's necessary because he's telling us not to use it.
Oh yeah.
But we use ad blocker out of this necessity because we don't want to see more ads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. It's been a while since I read the Aho Girl. Akira is just so funny because he's trying to stay. Here comes Yoshikawa to ruin his fun, or what he considers fun. He's like, damn it.
You know, he's just sitting there being like, I just want to be normal.
Yeah. That's funny. That shows it's kind of funny because her mother wants him to marry her daughter because she doesn't want to take care of the idiot for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Apparently he's saying something that could be misconstrued because he's smart, but he doesn't have common sense about what to say to girls.
So that's an anime character then.
Yeah. I remember that first episode. I forget what Yoshiko said, but he got so angry at her, he just uppercut her. The rest of the class, all you look at him like, how dare you? They're like, can't you just shut up for 5 minutes?
Nope.
That's what was funny about Aho Girl because she was so stupid. And there's like the reversal of that old trouble where you got the stupid main character getting punched by the girl all the time. This time around, it's the stupid girl getting punched by the asshole guy.
Come to think of it, I'm surprised I never saw an article about people bitching about that.
Well, I saw comments about on Facebook back when I used it where people were bitching about there's some guy bitching about how it's not right to show this kind of thing where a guy's punching a woman.
It's like, yeah, a guy basically in any harem anime gets stabbed, shot, punched, kicked, drilled. Like every violent action under the sun is probably done to a male anime character, but you know.
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I really get tired of with harems is basically the main character gets beaten, drop kicked, thrown through windows, hit with a Rhine crop in the case of Familiar Zero. Don't even get me started on that one. I fucking hate that one. She is the worst example of a tsundere, Louise.
Freaking gorgeous though.
Eh, I'm more of a Tosaka guy.
I've noticed.
That's Tosaka Rin or Misaka Makoto are basically what I consider proper examples of a tsundere, where they're a little bit harsh, but they don't try to hurt people because of some misunderstanding. I really hate those ones where they got the girl just almost murders a guy because of a misunderstanding.
What, like Hoki basically taking a kendo stick to Ichika, even though Laura specifically says that it's her doing all this?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing. I love harems, but sometimes there's those things that happen, and I'm just like, come on, guys, come on.
And most guys would probably stop putting up with that shit, just go like Turner on a bitch. Because it's just like, the fuck did you just do, bitch?
It's just silly.
I just don't like that kind of trope. Small misunderstanding. I'm gonna practically murder this guy because I was in his room undressing and he walked into his room.
I don't think you understand, man. You just don't get it.
Oh, you mean the old trope that of feminists that basically it's everything's man's fault?
Now you're getting it.
Stupid man. The world would be so much better if a woman was in charge.
Yep.
Woman is put in charge, and 3 weeks later, war were declared
See?
because that other female leader wore the same dress.
No, that's just sexist.
That reminds me of what I was saying about Mission Impossible, not Mission Impossible, Ocean's 8. I'm not saying that women can't pull up a heist. I'm just saying they wouldn't stop fighting with each other long enough to get it done.
I don't really care what they did. Just don't make a shitty movie out of it, which is apparently what they did.
Well, they cast Rihanna. What did they expect was going to happen?
That's a fair point.
You put Rihanna in something that's going to be trash because she's not a good actor. Of course, when you go all female, it's going to be trash in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yoshiko is so stupid. They're at Okinawa and she sees these fish swimming around. She's going to eat a fish out of the ocean. It's like I had to stop her.
Yep.
That's that's a weapons grade kind of stupid we're dealing with Yoshiko. And people wonder why Akaru is beating the shit out of her.
And you just kind of sit back and be like, all right, just going to watch this unfold.
I remember that whole bit where she's gonna show him her underwear. And then he's I don't want to see your dirty underwear, so like that. She's like, my panties don't have poopy stains on them. Everyone's just looking at her like,
I fucking hope so.
it's just, it, I wonder if there's a clip of that on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure there is somewhere.
Oh, I found it.
Uh-oh.
Should I do like a screen share of this?
That's up to you. You're the one in charge of this one.
I'll just link you to it because that seems kind of funny because I don't want to get copyright claim because people will do that.
No, on YouTube? Get
Yeah, I
out.
walked into that one.
Get out.
Even I went and skid marks on my panties. After she says that, the whole closet's looking at her like, oh my god, you said it.
Like, oh, she really is that stupid.
Jesus Christ. I didn't finish watching that. It's so funny. That was just like in the first episode.
Yeah.
I think it'll get better from there. Like, and these people that whined about her being punched and all that, that's part of comedy. You see the stupid girl just get punched for no reason. Well, there was a reason.
Because she's fucking retarded.
Yep. The name of the show is Aho Girl, which basically means stupid girl. The whole premise is her being an idiot.
That's even more sexist, though. You're saying all women are stupid now?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Well, not all women, but most of them are, especially the thoughts.
Oh, we're going down that road, are we? All right.
All thoughts are stupid.
Well, isn't that the point of the term?
If you think about it, yeah, because they don't have a thought in their head. I didn't watch that part with skid marks. Akira was one of those breaths of fresh air where you, because you don't see that many male tsunderes in anime.
Yeah, there's just no fucks given with that guy. It's just like, just fucking go away.
Shut up! Yeah, that disciplinary president, she's like a degenerate trying to stalk him all the time. She's always trying to sneak into his room and
Oh,
like,
when he's the one guy that literally is like someone around her, she's pretty much got to take that in stride, being like, "Fuck it, this is my one chance."
I don't know.
So that's why her mom keeps like just trying her ass off to get him to date her.
I know. He said that it's possible for humans to fall in love with monkeys
Yeah.
because she'll just take off to go buy bananas.
Oh, she's her mom basically knows it's by the grace of God that she's still alive, let alone anything else. So
Mm-hmm. I think he made some kind of comment about how they could probably get her locked up for life on some kind of misdemeanor.
yeah, but no matter what they try, she'd find some way to get out of it.
Just get her arrested for having some pot.
They can't get rid of her. It wouldn't work. Trust me, they'd figure out something.
I know. Most people have got put away in prison for less. I remember one girl on a show that I really liked was that one Gyaru, the one with the red hair. Let me see. Her name was Akane or something like that.
Think so?
I thought she was kind of cute.
Because that was the more serious girl, wasn't it?
No, that was the dark-haired one you're thinking about, the one with the that's always trying to perv on Akuru.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I found her. Akane Amura.
Remember this again? Do I remember this? I don't fucking remember her at all. But then again, I wouldn't pay attention to half that shit after a while. The jokes were too funny that you kind of stopped really noticing.
All I remember about her is when Akuru was basically being himself towards her, where because he's kind of like an asshole to anybody. He
Yeah.
actually kind of felt bad about being mean to her because she started crying because he's used to saying harsh things to Yoshiko because she doesn't get it anyway.
Yeah. trying to think who. I remember really liking the main like punk girl that all of a sudden Yoshiko just kind of went straight out all over.
I don't remember. Because there's like 3 Gyarus, one.
Yeah, and she would always go right for the leader of them.
Yeah, the redhead.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought she was kind of cute.
That's the thing. It's easy. It's easy to like those girls because they don't look like anybody else in the show.
Mm-hmm. They could be the main characters.
Fuck! It was like the. It was finally. I finally started watching the second season of Umaru-chan, and literally the first episode. There's so many fucking like main character syndrome girls with all like this ridiculous kind of hairstyles. I'm like, oh my god, I can't figure out who's who anymore. They're all main characters.
I remember Akuru's little sister. She's kind of stupid too, and she doesn't want to be like Yoshiko.
No.
So she studies as hard as possible. She still doesn't do good in school. The poor thing. She doesn't want to be like Yoshiko, and then there's a little girl that wants to be like Yoshiko. And her 2 friends are trying to keep her from being like that because they see Yoshiko's an idiot.
She's like, no, get away from her.
You don't want to be like her. She's stupid.
Just see him being like stupidly awesome.
Ugh. I do wish we had more like tsundere main characters because they're just so like, I mean, male main character because, and I don't mean like in a shoujo series because most male leads in a shoujo series is going to be a tsundere that's just an asshole to the girl.
Well, I think the problem is that when you're doing, especially when you're doing harem animes, they're going to make the male character as completely like personality-less as possible, so that way you can put yourself into it. It's like every time I hear that, I'm just like, look, I really don't give a shit about what Japan's fantasies are. I can imagine myself in there without having to put myself into a main character. I can just be like, the main character doesn't pay attention to them anyway. You can just walk in the door and just look at one of them and be like, hey, you want to go out? And they'll be like, oh, someone noticed me. And that one's already out of the harem. They're gone. Yep. They're gone with you.
Yep. I've been thinking about doing like Reldex fan fictions and try not to do like that with my original characters. Like, I start making up my own characters. Like, it's like, because I know people be pissed off at me. So, like, I'll just tell my own story in that universe with my own characters.
No.
And then it can be based off the idols I have crushes on. Totally healthy.
Doesn't have to be healthy. Come on.
Well, it's not like I'm using it as a way to loot them or anything. That's what custom made is for.
I was just going to say that's what my imagination's for.
You know, custom made is basically using your imagination to make your ideal girl so you can loot them. Shit.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's happened recently.
Besides the drama I mentioned earlier.
Well, that's way out of my realm, so I wouldn't know anything about it anyway.
Well, basically, last week, Sargon, he was going to Doc's gym because Jim was making fun of his suit. And now some people are kind of annoyed with Sargon because he did that. Like, and of course, you got the Sargonites that are going to defend everything that Carl does because they like Carl. Sargon's just not Sargon, but Jim's just a meanie head for making fun of Sargon. I mean, today he put out a video saying that Robert Tord and not cognitive thought, but harmful opinions are lying about him. They literally took a quote from a video where Sargon was talking to Amos Yee, the infamous pedophile, and saying it depends on the child. They're not lying when the words came out of your mouth.
Yeah, I'm even listening to you tell me about this, and my brain's just like, oh, I'm trying to push it away because
I know.
it's so dumb and petty.
I know. He doesn't realize that these people are just going to laugh at him every time he does something worse. Because after a stream over the weekend, Tildare came out and basically said that Sargon needs to shut up. He's making a fool of himself, and mentioned that because Sargon wants to go into politics, that he's not smart enough to go into politics. Wish
To be fair, have you seen politicians? Anybody could do it at this point.
I know. But,
Oh, I did find something. You're gonna like this because it goes back to the whole Nintendo fanboy shit.
oh boy, what do they do now?
So a guy for Kotaku wrote an article saying Undertale is finally on Nintendo console where it belongs. So he says it's out on Switch today. It took 3 years for the excellent JRPG inspired adventure to finally arrive on a Nintendo console. Now it has, and despite the sometimes clumsy Joy-Con controls, the game feels like it's come home. Fuck off.
Nintendo fanboys are the worst.
For God's sakes, the game, if it had come home, that would mean the game at one point was on a Nintendo console. Can we stop just being stupid with our wording, please?
I know.
Like, you could have just wrote an article just being like, Undertale is finally on a Nintendo console, and that's it. And that's it. And we get the story. It's like, you finally get to play Undertale on a Nintendo console. Cool. Got it.
It's still Undertale. That's the thing. Undertale's like that niche game that people play because it was popular at the moment, just like Doki Doki Literature Club.
I don't really give a shit beyond that. I've played Undertale. Undertale's fine.
I guess. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. Just like anything else. But I'm just so tired of this narrative that people put out where it's like, well, it should have always been on this thing. It's like, well, yeah, but Nintendo's last couple of consoles wouldn't have been a place for Undertale to work.
That's one of those things that gets under my skin when these people keep saying that. Insert game here belongs on the Switch. You mean Kingdom Come Deliverance, a game that really needs a high-end computer to run?
Well, it's also like they keep talking about how, oh, it's so great to see all these indie games on Switch. It's like, yeah, these games that have been out for 3 to 5 years, yeah, good for Nintendo. It's like, I'm okay that people are happy that all these games are getting put on Switch now, but can we stop making it like it's such a big deal?
I don't know.
Like, it's an old game. If all of a sudden Nintendo comes out and says, oh yeah, Destiny 2 is going to be on Switch, I'd be like, that's interesting. I didn't think you could be able to put the game like that on there.
Especially when us people who remember Destiny 1, how people kept saying that, or they kept saying that they could have given us bigger storage space because the old consoles were holding them back. I don't understand how. That was probably the most annoying thing about Destiny 1 is you always storage space in the vault.
Well, that was the thing too. Well, when it's a game that size, especially for consoles, like you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to keep that going.
I don't know. I think some like Destiny 2. That's Destiny 2, but Destiny is a whole franchise. I think they intended it just for the PS2, but Microsoft wanted in, and then so they just cooperated. But I think it was because look at the amount of specific kinds of guns and whatnot we get on the PlayStation that you can tell that it's supposed to be an exclusive.
Well, I mean, also you're not going to avoid the chance of having a lot of extra money in your pocket either.
Yeah, and always remember these articles about how to really reach its true potential. Destiny needs to be on the PC. I'm like, why?
They're not wrong. However, the way that it's worded should just be, hey, we would love to have Destiny on PC as well. Again, it just comes to this whole thing where it's like, well, it would be better if it's on PC. It's like, just say you fucking want it on PC. Like, can we stop having the my thing's better than yours? Like, stop it with this bullshit.
There's a,
I don't like. Would I love to have Halo on PlayStation? Sure, I would. But I'm not going to be like giving you this bullshit and be like, Halo should be on PlayStation because PlayStation's kicking Xbox's ass. They should absolutely be able to have awesome games like Halo on PlayStation. Shut the fuck up.
here's the thing about the PC master race bullshit. So what if you can see every fucking blade of grass in the game? Does it change how fun the game is, or are you just going to be bogged down by the aesthetics?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I still want the next console to have 60 frames because I think we're at a point that we should just be able to have this stuff. But when it comes to people doing the high-end graphics, like I've seen what it looks like. Does it look nice? Sure. But are you really that heavily paying attention to it when you're in the midst of a battle?
And a lot of it's, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to barely notice any difference. Like back when I followed IGN on a slow day, they do their graphics comparison between each one. I'm not autistic enough to notice any difference.
Well, I think the big part too is that I'm finding now that I'm only noticing things in the background because they look pretty because of the way they're designed, not because of just how like good the graphic fidelity is. If the aesthetic is good, I will pay attention. Like you can't just hope you just can't put a game out where it's just real life. Like you can't have Grand Theft Auto 6 out and it's just amazingly real life looking thing and I'd be like that just looks like an apartment building. But
Yeah,
Destiny with its new areas, I notice them because they look fucking amazing because of the aesthetic of it, and how like it looks like this sci-fi fucking temple place. Like it looks fucking cool. The color schemes and all that stuff. That can attract somebody. I don't see how all of a sudden something being just a little clearer is going to make that much of a difference to that.
yeah. I remember back in Destiny 1 when they did those ads where to show some Guardian and they tell their girls to start playing some classic music and it was like classic rock. And these dumbasses were bitching about how it takes away from the space opera aesthetic. Like, well, in that world, because it's probably was far into the future when the collapse happened.
Yeah.
And by then, Led Zeppelin is probably considered classic music because we learned anything from Futurama and probably playing. What was that song? Something so lots because all I even know is "Baby Got Back."
Oh yeah.
He kept listening to that song, and we listened. You can listen to classic music whenever you want.
I mean, look no further than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
That
and
it's about space,
yeah,
and it has nothing but like 70s, 80s music.
yeah. This is where people get bogged down because they think, oh, you need to have Star Wars style music to be a space opera. Like, I think for something like Destiny, where you had a collapse of a civilization, you could have a guy playing Raining Blood and be considered like this war ballad.
Not to mention that like Star Wars music is symphonic, which means it sounds more like it's from the 1600s than it does to the 20 whatevers.
Yeah,
It's like,
like
come on.
I know. See, I always had this idea of like my guardian, he just starts blasting Raining Blood before he raids a bunch of fallen. Like, oh no, it's him. Because they hear.
I mean, at the end of the day, dude, like it's if the music gets you into what you're doing, who gives a fuck what it sounds like or what era it would have been from or whatever else?
I know.
If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I know. I always thought it kind of made sense for the kind of a story aesthetic they were telling with Destiny. Basically, that it was probably further into the future when they had this golden age civilization going on, and when the collapse happened, they lost a lot of their culture. And for these people, they probably consider stuff like Led Zeppelin like the classics.
Well, fuck, like the last Star Trek movie that came out, Star Trek Beyond, they have fucking Beastie Boys playing in that.
Yeah.
Like I think it's Beastie Boys and NWA end up playing in that movie, and it's like, yeah, because that would make.
Uh, You cut out.
Yeah. Internet, what can I tell you?
Canadian internet.
Well, look. I thought the Pringles can would be enough.
But yeah, just like, why does it have to be a bunch of classical music? That stuff doesn't always make sense for something like where you got had like a civilization, it's all gone now, and these people are probably centuries removed from when it happened, and they probably think, "Oh, I like this. This supposed to be classical music."
I don't know, man.
I just like the idea. There's a bunch of cabal or something like that, or everybody know a business, and they hear like the opening guitar riff for "Raining Blood." Did you hear that? Dun,
What?
dun, dun. No,
Oh,
let's do like the cabal. They're going, did you hear that? And they hear dun 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 as it goes plays a thrash metal. It's like, oh, I've heard about this guy. He murders the shit out of people while playing that loud music.
those damn Guardians in the rock music.
It's not classic. It's just a bunch of loud noise from '90s. And they get all murdered as Raining Blood plays, and that's how it's. But it's like these people, they get on their soapbox about shit like that, and they don't even understand what they're saying at the time. I saw one person, like, what was the one they played for, like the Taken King or something like that. And this dumbass was saying, "That's the kind of music my dad listens to." Like he's probably like 15. Like I doubt your dad would listen to them because of like Led Zeppelin's like from the '70s.
It's just the thing in general. It's like people can't just say they don't like something. They have to all of a sudden go out and be like this shouldn't be there. This doesn't float. Just fucking say you don't like it. It's not that hard. But there's got to be a billion different things to bitch about.
I'm trying. Was it like immigrant song for like the Taken King? I look that up. It was like a Led Zeppelin song. Let me see. This is it.
Are you going for the copyright stuff? Or you're going to start playing music?
Nah, I'm just gonna watch it to see.
I can hear it in the background, so I'd be worried about that.
I don't think they do those commercials anymore. It wasn't immigrant song. I think that was like from the first commercial they did for Destiny.
That's the thing. They know what'll get people's attention. That's the important part.
Yeah, because I remember that commercial. They start blasting the immigrant song. Like that's catchy. I kind of miss going to the moon in Destiny, if you ask me, because that was always kind of fun to go around the moon. I kind of miss those old places.
I think it's the one weird thing is that all of a sudden, just because we have a new threat means we don't have to go to Venus or the moon or wherever anymore. Like Mars just finally came back because of Warmine. I kept saying, it's like, why do we all of a sudden don't need to go to these other places now? Like, what reason?
I know, because I'd like to go back to the moon. You could have like a dead orbit space location there.
Well, because the reality is like, okay, Venus is still there. There's still a Vex presence there. There's still Hive on the moon. Fucking Oryx's ship is still hovering around in the rings of Saturn. Like that's all still there. Why are we suddenly just not going there anymore?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It's why I kept saying, like, why the hell are we not
going on patrol there?
Well, no, it's like why do they have to make a whole new game for it?
Yeah.
Like you're cutting so much out and you're giving no reason for it.
Yeah, because I kind of miss going to the Cosmodrome because that's a fun place to just patrol around when you're bored.
Yeah.
They could have brought back and updated a little bit with new areas and whatnot. Because I like to go to where was it? Sepix Prime was. Because then you got that new area where you could go to the colony ship and all that. That was kind of fun. I don't know why they. That's what hurts Destiny. They got poor management. They take out stuff and just like they did, took out the machine guns and now they got to bring them back. Any of these idiots saying that it was a wasn't a great weapon class in Destiny. Like, speak for yourself, loser. I loved them. They were more reliable than a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Because when I do things, I like to have my shots count. I don't like rocket launchers because they just splash damage. It's not getting you that critical hit. Because we, because I always like to use the Thunderlord because you could get those precision hits and get critical damage.
Mhm.
Also, it's just a fun gun to use.
That's just the thing. If the gun's fun, just go for it.
Yeah.
It's like right now with the new DLC having God rolls again and all this stuff. It's just like I can't be bothered to get the same gun 20 times trying to find just that specific set of perks. If the gun feels good in my hands, I'm happy with the gun.
Yeah. Yeah, the original trailer that they did was the one with the immigrant song. That that's just one of those catchy songs, but sometimes you don't know if it's immigrant song or that stupid song by Heart.
Oh, Immigrant Song's pretty easy to figure out for me, but then again, I also have a pretty good musical
Yeah.
ear, so.
Yeah, well, early like chords of the song, they sound like there's that one song by Heart. I can't remember what it's called, but it sort of sounds like it's starting. You're like, oh, is this immigrant song? And then you hear it's that crappy Heart song, like,
Yeah.
Why is it when America tries to do girl rock bands, it never works out? Is it because they all go feminist and shit like that?
No, it's because most of the time American music doesn't have that much creativity in it.
Yeah. Like, you look at Kitty and they're kind of like, well, they look like bull dykes.
Well, it's because when you see a movement, you try to copy it. It doesn't have the same passion or
I
the
know.
same reasoning for why it started. Like,
Because, like, you look at all this Mary's Blood, uh, I guess Fake Gear, all these all girl bands. They're beautiful girls, but they also take their musicianship a little bit seriously.
well, that's because Japan actually takes their fucking shit seriously.
Yeah. But they're also serious about making sure they're pretty. Because Japanese girls are very focused on being pretty.
It's not hard for them.
They're genetically superior in every fucking way.
But like,
They'll make you cookies and call you senpai.
I'm gonna have to leave soon, so I'll probably get this out here before I forget about it. There's a reason why there are so many waves in metal music. There's always a reason behind why these things develop.
Yeah.
Metal initially came as a counterculture to what just basic soft rock music was. Like there was nothing that really spoke to a lot of people that really saw like just how bad things were. You know, the reason that you saw bands like Sabbath and Zeppelin coming out there is because they lived in these like fucking war-torn parts of Britain, and they knew that they're living around factories their entire lives. It's not all hunky dory like all these pop stations are making it sound like.
Well, wasn't it like the guitarist or can't remember,
Wait,
was it Tony
yeah,
Iommi or Geezer Butler that he smashed his hand in like a
oh
metal
yeah,
press or something like
oh yeah.
that?
Tony like sliced like at least 2 or 3 of his fingertips off.
Yeah, I think one broke his finger and caused him to play a little bit differently, which contributed to the style. And
Yeah.
you got people who are different vocally, like Rob Halford. He has a powerful voice.
Yeah. So I mean that music carried, and it did its thing for a while. And like most eras of music, they end at some point, and then punk ended up taking over. And then of course punk is As much as I love punk music, a lot of punk music is very easy.
Hmm.
It's not that difficult.
And if you look at what punk's become, it's become like a neutered version of itself.
Well, of course, as you know, politics used to be a big part in punk music, and now you can't be political anymore. So
Now it's full on Tumblr. Don't say things that hurt people's feelings. Johnny Rotten would be pissed off with you right now if he saw that.
oh yeah. Well, like you saw as punk became really famous, that all of a sudden metal had to have a sort of comeback again because something had to counter the lack of musicianship that was going on. And that's when you saw like the Iron Maidens, the Judas Priest, the Tigers of Pantane, the Black Diamonds. You saw a lot of those. Or not
Yeah,
Black Diamond, Diamond Head. Like you saw a lot of those British bands. Then you fast forward a couple of years, that shit's getting over in the States, and all of a sudden LA does their own thing with it because LA is very party like. So they figured out a way to have heavy metal music, but still have the party culture that California had. And that's where you get hair metal.
yep. Glam metal, as it's called now.
Yeah. And not long after that, obviously, because there was again counterculture to that, you had eventually stuff like the grunge movement, and then eventually metal became again had its own resurgence, and then obviously today where we sit, where there's just a billion different fucking kinds of it.
Yeah, there's post grunge, power metal, all over the place. Like Europe, they do mostly power metal, where they got the female lead singers, and rest of the band does more like symphonic music.
Well, you get the power metal, you get Viking metal, you get death metal, you get fucking black metal. Like,
Black metal guys scared the fuck out of me.
it's all over the place. And then now you see what's going on in so many different parts of the world. Obviously, Japan with its kawaii metal inception now with baby metal and bands like those. Like somebody's always finding something else to do, and I think that's why you see, especially with the way that we treat the Grammy Awards, for example, like no one gives a shit anymore because American music is so cookie cutter and factory made. Like none of it is interesting anymore.
That was the one thing that kind of annoyed me about like Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. This that's dumb thought. She's been in America watching how they do things here and decides Japan needs that. Like, huh?
It's like if you want that, go to Korea because Korea is taking in all the Western influence.
I know. That's I always like to make jokes about like how trash K-pop is because it just doesn't pull me in like J-pop does. Like J-pop, you're like, oh, I like this song.
I
But
notice with a lot of Japanese pop music is that even though I don't necessarily care for pop music as a whole, what J pop and J rock really does is they use different
L
ways of structure for music and different instruments and different kind of beats that I don't hear that often in music. Whereas if you turn any random K-pop song, you pretty much are sure that you're listening to top 40 in the States. The only difference is the language is different.
yeah, like I made this kind of reference once about like Japanese rock, or basically like they got to the '90s or early 2000s with rock, metal music, and they're like, okay, let's stop here because somehow the gaijin are going to fuck this up. We're going to just do what they do here and just never go past it because knowing the gaijin, they'll fuck it up somehow.
Yeah.
And we did because I used to like Five Finger Death Punch, and now I'm at the point where all their music sounds the same, and it just doesn't do anything for me. Because similar to baby metal, because I got to the point where I just couldn't get to the music anymore, and so I started looking for something similar. That's how I found Aldius. Because I saw this picture of them, and like you see Reno with her heavy eye makeup, fake eyelashes. She looks like a total gyaru, and like, I'll give them a listen. And then I got hooked on one song,
Yep.
Dominator.
Yep.
That's just a sad thing. I think Japan they had those moments where they take over the music industry for a period because they got that follow through that they can deliver on. They know what people like and they just go with it.
They never really been able to. Baby Metal is honestly the first Japanese act I can think of that truly did like hit Western audiences and actually stuck. I remember it being a big deal around Kingdom Hearts 2 era. So this would have been like 2000s, where Utada Hikaru actually made two albums in North America to try, because she really was that big J-pop star back then, and she
Yeah,
made the push, and she got nowhere. Like
yeah,
nothing. No one touched it. It's just
yeah. Because the normies, they don't really see the appeal. They don't. They get stuck with the language barrier, and they
no, no,
don't.
no, no. She didn't know it. It was straight English albums too,
Oh, weird.
and it didn't click.
I guess they just don't hear the passion like I do, because I can pretty much pick up on the passion that like Fuki has when she sings, because I can tell that she's passionate about singing, because she's been doing it for a long time, because she was like in this band called Dragon Guardian. They did like video game music that she was in, and Lightbringer. Then she tried to go solo for a little bit. She worked with Gacharic Spin. Now she was with Unlucky Morpheus and Gacharic Spin with her Dollbox project, and of course she has her solo stuff. But listening to her music, you can see how passionate she is. She's been working hard. And of course, my heart kind of beat a little bit when I watched her trying to speak English and she's struggling with her words.
I mean, it's not to say that there are musicians out there who don't work hard, but I think
They get
when
complacent.
anybody can work hard in the industry, but it's at a point now where I think you need to do more than to just bust your ass and do what you're supposed to do. You need to come out with something different now, because everything sounds the same. So you're the only way you're going to get the crowd that's not listening to what's on the radio is you need to be so different that it needs to be able to get that attention.
Yeah,
Because anybody can get a major record label to just, force every radio station under the sun to play their songs every hour on the hour.
yeah,
But if you're going to be what Say and Act Like Baby Metal became, you have to do something so unbelievably different that even the people that would never listen to that stuff will take notice because they've never heard that before.
yeah. Like I was trying to explain to my mom once about, because she likes to watch like The Voice and whatnot. And these people, they're not going to go anywhere, because all they're doing is singing top 40 songs that they heard before. And anyone can sing, like, do covers of anyone else's songs. What would really impress me is if these people actually had their own music.
Well, that's the thing. You see so often now that songs are either referencing old songs, some of them are even using samples of old songs, or I'm just like, can nobody be bothered to at least write their own shit?
I don't know.
Or not to mooch off of somebody else's work?
Yeah, because you see a lot of these people that go on American Idol or The Voice or whatnot, and their careers never go anywhere, because all they know how to do is do covers. They're never.
Well, I think the other problem with American Idol in general is just that they are known for doing covers because that's what they have to do on the show. I
Yeah,
think there's a reason why, like, very few examples like Chris Daughtry, aka Daughtry, actually did something, is because he did play original music on American Idol. So people were exposed to the fact that he did do something different.
yeah.
Whereas, like, really, how many winners of American Idol became anything? I don't think there were any, were there?
No, just Kelly Clarkson and maybe Chris Daughtry.
Yeah, and Daughtry didn't win. Did did Clarkson win?
Yeah, she won the first time because she was the original winner. But her success kind of fizzled out after a while, because I think,
Because I only remember like the first couple.
yeah, I wasn't into that kind of stuff, but I always saw that shows. Always felt like they're not going to really go anywhere, because a lot of music that they're doing, it's like normie tier shit. But yeah, it appeals to the lowest common denominator. But at a certain point, people are going to get tired of hearing them do everyone else's songs.
And here's the thing: like, I only now that I've actually looked at it, I only watched the first two seasons. I don't recognize anybody else. I recognize the names of some of the winners. Like, I see Carrie Underwood. Of course, I know her, but it's country music, so blech.
Define country, because she's not really exactly country. She's like that pop music country.
Well, that's what country is now, which is why it's even more blech.
I know. I like older country like Johnny Cash, but more modern shit is like, it's just pop music with cowboy hats.
I see Jordan Sparks. I've heard the name, but I've never really listened to the music. And Chris Allen, I've heard of, and that's about it. Like I'm looking at the list. Everybody else, I have no fucking clue who any of these people are.
And then like Jennifer Hudson, who did kind of well after she lost, and we only know this because David Otunga keeps bringing up the fact that that's his wife.
Uh,
That's what he used her name to try and make sure he got to the WWE pretty much.
well, to be fair, wouldn't you if you had that advantage?
Yeah, even though he's a
You make
shitty
the
wrestler.
well, yeah, but you make the paycheck that he makes. Who gives a fuck at that point?
Yeah.
That guy's living on fuck you money. But anyways, I think I'm gonna call at least my
Yeah.
run here. So
Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock, and that's where I want to kind of close it down. So, for those of you who are stupid enough to wander to the Tsundere, thanks for tuning in. I don't know why you're here, but
you're trapped with the rest of us.
one of us, one of us, one of us.